We can get started whenever you guys are ready.
Oh, me first.
It's the most formal interview ever.
I know, right? Glad to have you guys all here. Yep.
This is coming from one of your favorite people, Volker out in Germany.
Yes.
Okay. His main question, which I know he probably bothers you a lot about, is when can we expect a General Merrick with his X-Wing?
So it's a great first question because it allows us to say we revealed a lot of cool stuff today, which we're really excited about. Anything that wasn't revealed, we can't comment on anything in the future. But certainly that comes from great entertainment, and we're always looking at all of the entertainment properties for future product ideas.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Next question.
Will the skiff be available internationally?
Yes, the skiff will absolutely be available internationally. There's no U.S. restriction on it. As we've always discussed, we're working on all of our products to get them available globally in every market possible. Great question.
What's the price for the skiff?
Price? I'm not sure if we've been talking about prices, but I'm happy to. The skiff? Yeah. So the skiff is selling. The global suggested retail price for that is $49.99. Is that a good wow or a bad wow, Dave?
Good wow.
All right, there we go. That's what we like to hear. Next question, yes, Chris.
Any possibility of sending Hasbro reps out to like wave one figures for the
Yeah. So we're certainly aware of, we've talked in the past, like distribution is something that we're always working on to improve. I don't know if we're going to approve a whistle-stop tour for Sam and I to go to brick-and-mortar retail, but Wave 1 of the Vintage Collection is absolutely something we're aware of, and we're going to try to get that out and get other waves in.
The Kenner figures on display, they have the retro collection printed on it. Is it a print on, or is it a sticker that can be peeled off?
It is print on, so it definitely is not intended to replace the original 1977 figures, but it is definitely to kind of honor them and sort of pay homage. And that sticker was something that was utilized by Kenner back in the day as sort of way of promoting exclusivity to them. So.
That's a good point. We had a lot of conversations. We thought that idea was really cool, and actually I didn't say in the presentation, but it came out of a group that Sam led during a brainstorm, the idea for that, which was really cool. But yeah, we talked a lot about the right way to deliver that. We wanted to get some of the old favorites out there, but then obviously Tarkin is a new figure, and then the right way to do it without kind of undermining the existing figures. So the seal on the package on kind of the graphic treatment was one way that we wanted to do that.
What about the accessories and things? How are people going to be able to differentiate the new accessories from actual vintage accessories?
Well, if we did our job right, you can. But definitely in terms of everything we were looking at was really about capturing everything from the density of the plastics to the colors. So these are intended to be very authentic to their counterparts.
Okay, so the vintage collectors freaking out, they can continue to freak out.
What about the date stamp on the figures?
So I believe that there's a date stamp on our figures.
Yes.
Yes. So there's a date. Great. So I will say it in a different tone of voice now. There is a date stamp on our figures, so obviously you will be able to tell the difference between an original one and one of the ones that we're issuing now this year. Yes, in the back.
On the retro collection, not asking about particular figures, but is there a chance we can look forward to more figures that were never produced in the series?
It's a good question. See the answer to the first question. So obviously, we're excited about the retro collection. What we revealed today is kind of what we can publicly talk about. We can't talk about anything in the future. But as we say with everything, if you guys like something and you talk online about liking it, and if it sells well, then we can certainly consider things in the future.
Skiff game with Iana.
What's that?
Skiff game with Iana.
Absolutely, yeah.
Steve still with you guys?
Steve Evans?
Yeah.
So Steve Evans is no longer a part of Star Wars. He's still with Hasbro, is continuing his role as director of licensing products. So Vicky is stepping into his role as design director on Star Wars. We'll continue to have everything without any hiccups.
It's been a great transition. Steve obviously was, a great design director to work with. So smart, so creative. Vicky has been amazing in the same way. So it's really been a seamless transition.
The Galaxy of Adventure figures, is that now the successor to the Force Link 2.0 series?
So that is definitely the successor in terms of our 3 3/4 inch offering. So we have that as well as the Resistance figures, which are sort of populating, and we've actually been hearing great response on those. So those are really to be able to continue the buzz in regards to those characters that are a lot of kids are being reintroduced to through Galaxy of Adventures and that new animated platform.
And will you continue to do 3 3/4 inch in the basic Resistance style stuff down the road for further properties and revisiting properties that you can talk about? So
Obviously, as you know, we have different expressions in 3 3/4 inch scale. Vintage collection, now retro, obviously the more kid-focused lines. It's, obviously the heritage scale of Star Wars, and we're definitely not walking away from that scale at any point in the future.
Is the Jabba's Palace is obviously a small playset. That's something that Star Wars fans have wanted for a long time. And is that potentially a test that, if people like it and lap it up, then, the future may look bright?
Well, that's almost implying that we didn't do a giant list. But I think this was definitely the foundation for really being able to start to look at that. We saw the excitement that built around the Katana, which, ultimately was a very off-screen used vehicle. So, with that excitement and, all the figures were sort of building up and being able to bring out the new skiff and, testing some of the waters in terms of doing something like the Jabba's kind of trophy room to be able to start to get some of those figures in. And, we definitely seed it. So if you guys like it.
Yeah. I think with all things, we've said this in the past, the reason we do what we do is because we really do get joy and passion out of giving Star Wars fans the toys and collectibles they want. So we've been obviously doing different types of play sets. If this does well and you like it, then it will absolutely be a foundation for future product ideas.
And what's the price point for Jabba's Palace?
Price point for Jabba's Palace is...
I thought that was I don't know.
Joe?
Hey Joe, do you know the price point for Jabba's Palace?
Jabba's Palace.
Off the top of my head. I have what I think it is.
Let me find out. I'll find out before you guys are done.
We don't want to put any bad information out there. So many products. So little brain space.
So I know you're talking about Bard. I know you mentioned it upstairs, but I need him to hear it from you. So you won't believe me. When is it coming out to the UK, Europe, and Germany?
Absolutely. So I'm going to try to remember everything I rattled off upstairs. It is absolutely coming beyond the US and Canada. In March, it'll be sold on eBay. That is the partner that we're working with, that we were able to get it to these other countries. But of course, there will be a specific URL on eBay. We didn't want people to have to go to eBay and enter something and search around for it. So we will be posting all of those URLs on Hasbro Pulse, and we'll be doing it at least 1 week in advance. We didn't want to post it and then a couple hours later and maybe someone didn't check it. So if you check Hasbro Pulse, at least on a daily or every other day basis, you will see it, and then you'll be able to buy it as soon as it goes on sale. And I'm forgetting the exact list of countries that I named off, but absolutely the UK, absolutely Germany.
You listed about 20. Now, with the logistics of that stock, if Mexico had 500 left and the UK sold out in 2 seconds, how would you manage the stock so it all hit the right people at the right time?
Yeah, so
is it once it's sold out in the UK, that's it, it's gone, or will you move stock around to...
So the short answer is no. I won't dive into all the details of the logistics, but basically it's one stock that is sold out of eBay. So as we said, it's limited quantities, and it's kind of available to all markets. So there will not be a situation where people in the UK cannot get one while there is extra stock available in another market.
Fantastic.
Jabba's Palace, $49.99.
For the record, that's what I thought.
Will you ever let us know what the final number of the katanas that were produced? Because obviously we know how many were produced for the US and Canada, and I think some of those people would like to know what the final number was, including the rest of the world.
So I don't think we'll say the exact number, but I think we can say generally, definitely less than 10,000.
Total.
Yeah.
The Galaxy of Adventures figures and the Star Wars Resistance figures don't have vehicles in the lineup right now. No spaceships, no vehicles. Is that something that you're looking at for, a release?
Yeah, nothing that we can talk about specifically today, but definitely the nice thing about Resistance is it is a very vehicle-rich universe that it's offering. So, definitely if there's a demand for it, we're listening. So.
One more from him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh no, I lost it. So it's basically about the new 5-inch hyperreal. That's
8-inch. Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, 8-inch.
It's okay.
He was talking about that there's a rumor going around that I'm sorry, that the 6-inch series might be canceled. Is that just a rumor, or would that be happening?
So, as with everything, we can announce kind of future plans. But that being said, the 6-inch line is one of our 2 fan-focused lines. We know that there are fans out there that love it, and there are no current plans to discontinue it.
Okay. I don't think I'm happy.
Yes, in the back.
I know you can't answer any specifics, but since it is the 20th anniversary of Phantom Menace, do you think there'll be any more love for the prequel trilogy characters in the next year?
So, can't comment on anything that's not revealed, but we have been excited to get some of that Phantom Menace product into the line. Obviously, we chat with you guys, like we read online. It's been really cool to see kind of a resurgence of excitement about the Phantom Menace and the whole prequel trilogy. So we've been really excited to get the Force Effects lightsabers back into the line, the 6-inch figures that we announced last year at European conventions, now these celebration items. And as with all things, like if they do well and fans are excited about those prequel items, then it's certainly a rich source of entertainment that will continue to mine in the future.
The great thing about 6 inches, though, while we've done it for a few years, for Star Wars, it's still relatively a new scale. Yeah. So there's plenty of figures, and especially with all the new entertainment coming out, there's lots to support. But again, as long as there's the demand for it and the love for them, we're absolutely on board for making things happen in the future.
There's a lot of entertainment, and there's a set of Rebels figures you've been doing. You ever going to finish that set?
So I think Steve Evans mentioned at HasCon a year and a half ago that eventually we will finish the Rebels set.
Yeah.
Can't reveal anything today.
He's not a $20 price point though, is he?
We'll see.
Similar question, but for 375.
Yeah.
Any interest in realistically styled, animated sourced characters for 375?
Yeah. So I think we know that vintage fans, again, from talking with you all and reading online and talking at conventions, that vintage fans like the Rebels trilogy. And as Sam said, kind of even with the vintage collection that's been around a lot longer than the Black Series, there's still a lot of great characters to do. So, again, can't reveal anything right now, but Rebels is definitely a great source of entertainment for both lines in the future.
And Clone Wars.
Revisited.
Absolutely.
To follow up on kind of the Phantom Menace question, I wasn't clear in the presentation. You said Darth Maul and Obi-Wan are going to be Celebration exclusives, and then I got that Obi-Wan's coming out in the archive line. Is Darth Maul also in the archive line, or is he in the main line?
Obi-Wan's actually coming out in the main line.
Okay.
So he was actually added to the display out there in his mainline packaging. So Darth Maul will be an archive exclusively available there outside of the convention.
So Obi-Wan in package in Black Series mainline is out there right now. We haven't revealed the second wave of archive packaging yet. So when we do, Darth Maul will be well represented there.
Yeah.
And before Steve left, did he sort out the Zubio archive figure?
Zubio archive figure. We're working hard on that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Is there any way to differentiate the newer figures from the retro line from actual vintage figures?
They are dated. Present day. Yep.
Excellent. Thank you.
How long are you looking at for the retro collection? Is that just a one-off, or are we looking at multiple years? Is that an ongoing thing?
Yeah, again, we don't have anything further that we can necessarily speak to on that, but again, if there's the demand for it, it's something we're definitely excited about doing internally. Again, as we saw it as being classic characters, but something we definitely wanted to do was the opportunity we took with Tarkin and really be able to bring characters that weren't done in 1977 to that card back. So again, if opportunities do arise for us to be able to do more, I think we'd certainly like to.
And I would just encourage your readers to let their voices be heard. We've said this before, but again, we do read your sites, and obviously, we talk to fans at conventions, so have them, if they're at a convention in the U.S. or abroad, come talk to us and let us know if there's a groundswell of demand, like something we'll absolutely explore.
The license is not being renewed, supposedly, with some research that Volker has been doing. And it is set to expire in 2020, which marks 25 years after you guys relaunched it in '95. Would there be a surprise for 2020 Star Wars Celebration that you will probably renew the license?
This is the easiest question of all to answer, because if we can't talk about new reveals, we unfortunately absolutely can't talk about that.
Okay.
But a great question.
Is there anything new about that display version of the Cell Barge that we haven't maybe seen before?
So this is in fact a production sample. So this is a unboxed sample that arrived just a little bit earlier than the rest of yours, but it's ultimately reflects the sail barge that you guys will receive.
Any differences from when we showed the FET or gray model? We've been talking about some of that evolution.
Yeah, it's been a natural development. The really nice thing about the sail barge is that there wasn't a lot that wasn't engineerable. Everything in terms of the material limitations. This was a great collaboration, not only between our sculptors in HFE as well as our sculptors in RI. So it's very much what you see here is what you will be receiving.
What was the final number of paint arms?
Can I share?
I think we can say that. I think
That
so,
is,
yeah.
1,000 paint arms.
1,000?
Yep. So
1,000?
it is the largest number of paint
3
arms that
zeros.
we've ever applied to any Star Wars product today.
1,000 exactly?
We don't want to tell our marketing partners, but it was a little over that.
A little over that, wow.
Yeah. So that's obviously, the barge is a fantastic item, obviously a large value, and that deco drives a huge part of that. So we're really excited for that level of detail that's worthy of the vintage collection.
So you'd really like to do a Force Awakens, Phantom Menace Hyperreal 3PO then? To push the boundary on paint ops?
Absolutely, yeah. Again, we can't talk about anything that's not revealed, but that's a great idea. Yes, Chris.
The Yak Face has an exclusive successor because the Power of the Force one. Is that the first time this has been revealed?
I believe the imagery for this has been shared through the Pulse, but you're referring to this little one here? Yes, so the cup that Yak Face holds is exclusive to the Yak Face that you get with your barge. It is not part of the main line. I know.
Is that a wink to the original Power of the Force Yak Face, which came with the staff? And
That's
Tri-Logo didn't?
certainly part of it. The other nice thing is really just sort of aligning with the card art, and Vintage Collection is always pushed to find other accessories that we can start to include with the characters. So certainly the staff is important, but seeing him hold that cup, which is compatible with the existing Vintage Collection R2 serving droid, you can load them in right there.
And what's he drinking?
As a yak, he can only be drinking blue yak milk.
We should have included that in our presentation. Go back in time. Other questions?
There was a rumor yesterday that it was your birthday.
It was. That leaked, unfortunately. It was my birthday yesterday, yes.
So on behalf of all of us, wish you a happy birthday.
Oh, that's too kind. Thank you very much.
Which one of you wish him to break a leg?
Oh, I know. Right leg. Oh. Thank you. Any other questions? I think we have a little more time, but if not, we're happy to...
When's your next off-Broadway show?
Next off-Broadway? I don't know. I think my Broadway career might be over after that.
That good?
Yeah, exactly.
Any chance of a reissue of the kit for Histo Force Effects?
An interesting idea. Yeah,
it is an interesting
so as everything, we can't reveal anything, but what we will say is that, our Force Effects line, we love, it's great. When we revealed these Force Effects lightsabers, the Darth Maul, the Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the Mace Windu, at SDCC last year, we talked about how we kind of rested it in 2018 because we wanted to save those for this year. But the reaction to those has been amazing. Absolutely. And it's absolutely something that we're going to continue in the future. So that's a great suggestion.
With your tour last year of European conventions, will you be continuing global convention tours like last year?
So I don't think we can discuss any specifics at this point. But what I will say is we started talking about this as well at San Diego Comic-Con, and absolutely we've realized or awakened and know that there are fantastic fans all around the world that are just as passionate about Star Wars as the great fans here in the U.S. And so as you said, we kind of executed that last year, going to Unboxing Toy Convention in Mexico, Canada's Fan Expo, and then 3 conventions in Europe, and that will absolutely continue this year. Where specifically we go, we're still sussing out.
We have time for one more question. So.
Black Series packaging change that you mentioned during the panel? Or did I misunderstand that? Did you not say that there's a new packaging change coming?
No, we didn't say that.
No, so the only packaging variations that we have for Black Series are obviously with the Celebration exclusive, and then just in terms of the talks of archive and using that to get some of those older figures.
I think what was said was new packaging for vintage, but how can you have new packaging for vintage if it's vintage?
So I think what we said was that there were new packaging that you hadn't seen before, perhaps down here at the booth.
So
we hadn't shown them at a
Probably
convention
said that
before.
for Black Series in terms of new packaging reveals being
box
new
shown here in the
packaging.
booth.
You have new box samples here.
What's that?
You've got new box samples.
Exactly. Yep. The Summer Wave, the Afra, and
Kenobi.
the comic book droids. Exactly. All those packages are available to view. Great.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.